What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and coming back with a second video for the day. So today is actually the second video, as you guys might be aware, and I feel like I have to do this video because it is quite important right now. So before we dive into this video, please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and now let's dive right into today's topic. Of course, as you see on the title, in today's topic I want to talk about Palantir shares, because that's something I mentioned to you guys maybe like a month ago or a bit more, and I was giving you guys the heads up what I was thinking about Palantir Technologies. And in today's video I want to talk about them because recently they had a very nice pump to the upside, and I just want to give you guys my thoughts and my opinion about Palantir. So Palantir has been something on my radar now for like 6 weeks maybe, or could be even 2 months, I can't remember exactly, but I started buying Palantir around $13 if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around those levels. And I was telling you guys that I was going into Palantir, and I was just giving you the heads up. Now let's talk about Palantir and also discuss the recent price action and just give you my thoughts on the company. So before that, let's first explain briefly what is Palantir Technologies, because it is quite a complicated company which most retail people don't really understand, and I can get that because they don't really serve the retail customer, or they just simply don't have something that everyone understands, and they are basically a technology company. Now there are many technology companies out there, but what do they do different than most other technology companies? Now, they provide technology for very, very specific things. For example, governments, armies, or very big companies that don't really work with little businesses or retail people. Something that more or less a special end of people use. So for example, government. For example, not too long ago, the NHS here in the UK has signed a deal with Palantir regarding COVID-19, or the US Army, for example, has signed a deal with Palantir. So basically what they do is they do a lot of business with governments and countries. Besides, they also do work with big companies like energy companies and things like that. However, this week they do have a demo day, which they will be showing all of us what their technology is about and what they could achieve with their technology. So this is why recently we've seen quite a lot of bullish news from Palantir. Now, when I was telling you guys, when I was starting to buy Palantir, it was around $13-14, somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact amount. So that's when I started going in. But I was telling you guys that I believe in this company long term as an investor, not as a trader, as an investor, because I thought there's big opportunity with this company. It's only quite recent that a bit more hype and actual earnings have been made, because this company has actually been trading for many years, but most of its time it hasn't been actually making profit. It's been actually losing money. Only quite recently they actually started doing earnings. So this is why recently there's a bit more hype with this company. Now in general, whenever you buy shares from a company, you always want to understand the basics of the company and why you believe there's a potential there. So it's always important to do your own research before buying any shares. Now, for example, Palantir has their lockup expiring very soon. So what does that mean? That means the owners of Palantir own a nice amount of shares. Now their lockup period will be expiring in February. This means that the shares they own, they can actually sell. So they own an amount of shares that was locked up until a certain time. Now when this period ends, that means they could sell their shares. So that means that there can be very high volatility, because obviously people are worried if the owner sells a huge amount of shares, that means the price could be going downwards. So this is kind of what's going on. However, there are a lot of talks saying that the owner actually will buy back his shares, so that can also be a very bullish sign. Alright guys, so this is the daily chart on Palantir Technologies, and you can see here I've put a trend line since a while ago, when the price was around $10 or even less. And you can see that we've actually held this trend line perfectly for most of the time. Now you could see this recent massive blue candle here. That's from Friday. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this. I went from around 25.80 all the way up to 32.44, a bit higher than that. I think 32.80 something, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, this is just 1 day's trading, and this is absolutely crazy, guys. But this is not really significant to me because I'm not a trader, guys, with this particular share. This is something I want to hold long term. And you know, I actually came in around these levels. And guys, I'll actually tell you something I've done, but I've taken a big risk. But this is something I've done. It actually worked out pretty well. So I bought around here, and actually I sold my shares around $31 or $32 because I knew there was a lot of hype going into this area. So I knew that a correction will come. And luckily to me, it actually worked out because I sold around here. And what I did is I actually mentioned this on my Instagram. For those who follow me on Instagram will know that I said I'm selling around the $32 area and I will rebuy around the $24 level. And this is exactly what happened. You can see we spiked up all the way to 33.45 roughly. And then we've had nice downside movement. Then we had a little spike again. And basically, more or less, we've been hanging around these levels for a few weeks. And then recently, we've been going down a bit. So that's where I started to accumulate again Palantir shares as a long-term buy. So this time, I will not be doing like I did over here, because my game plan was to sell here and then rebuy more shares with my profits. So in other words, I did not take any profits at this moment. All I've done is rebought more shares with that money. And it actually worked out pretty well. So I started buying back around 24 levels, and we actually dipped lower than 24. So we dipped to around 22.50, and I actually added some over there and then just let it ride up. And right now we are around the $32 level. Can easily be going back down as well. So again, this is for me a long-term hold because I believe in this company long-term. So this is more or less the line